People across Illinois and around the world are working on wetland restoration. They include landowners, not-for-profit organizations, hunters, ecologists, politicians, farmers, governments, and others who see wetlands as essential elements of a healthy environment. The work of scientists is critical to wetland restoration, but journalism also can play a role helping to raise public awareness. Journalists Clare Howard and David Zalaznik spent 5 years visiting people who restore and create wetlands, listening to them explain why they are passionate about wetlands. Their stories can help change public understanding of the swamps, bogs, marshes, seeps, and backwaters, once viewed as unproductive, but now increasingly seen as essential and beautiful elements of the world.
Alida Lakota, a Native American woman and art therapist, and Michael Wyant, an environmental anthropologist, both talk about the role of wetlands helping ancient peoples transition from a nomadic lifestyle to the establishment of settlements near rich food sources supplied by wetlands. A secure food supply gave life stability, and elders were able to share guidance, values, and wisdom.
The Wetlands Initiative transformed an agricultural water district near Hennepin back to the rich and vibrant wetland it was before the land was diked, drained, and planted in row crops. Rick Siebert used to maintain the pumps for the water district, but as site superintendent at the Sioux and West Dixon Waterfowl Refuge, he saw seeps return to their ancient channels and seeds dormant for a century take root. Waterfowl in abundance returned, and Siebert changed as much as the land changed. Now on hunting trips out west, he finds himself marveling more at the wildflowers than the quarry being hunted. Gary Sullivan, senior conservation ecologist at the site, did not initially want to open the refuge to the public. He was interested in research and restoration, but he realized the magic of the place changes how people see and think. People love the beauty and then become protective defenders of the environment.
Bud Greaves was a financial advisor and former mayor of Peoria. He purchased land along the Illinois River and began a decades-long restoration process. Once a waterfowl hunter, Greaves said he now gets more pleasure anticipating the annual waterfowl migration and the rich feast his land provides for wildlife.
John Ryan was mentored from an early age by his father to take over the family development business. But Ryan came to realize that when wetlands were involved, the permitting process was onerous and unpredictable. He studied the Clean Water Act of 1972, developed the concept of wetland mitigation bank credits, and started his own company, Land and Water Resources. Today, he restores wetlands throughout Illinois and the nation.
Gurnee, Illinois Mayor Christina Kovarik cried with her constituents when year after year the Des Plaines River flooded and Gurnee residents lost their homes. With a career in banking, Kovarik understood the cost-benefit analysis of wetland restoration to mitigate flooding. She has been called one of the most proactive city mayors working on flood mitigation.
Donald Hay, Executive Director and co-founder of Wetlands Research, is a scientist, hydrologist, and environmentalist. He's an ideas man, and his research has led him to champion the idea of a riverine national park system financed by nutrient farming.
Doug Blodgett, Director of Conservation at the Nature Conservancy based at Emequon, hosts scientists from around the world who come to tour the $6 million research structure built on the site in 2017. The waterfowl migrating past the site draws birders from around the country.
Doug Oberhelman, former CEO at Caterpillar, and his wife Diane, founder and CEO of a national development company, transformed strip mine land once described as hell with the fires put out to land now called Quail Lake's Wetland Sanctuary.
John Franklin farms in McLean County. Jim Fulton farms outside Sonneman in Livingston County. Both men grew up during the birth of the environmental movement, and both have taken land out of production to create wetlands. They and the scientists they work with hope to one day see 10,000 small wetlands throughout the Farm Belt.
Mike Miller is Supervisor of Environmental and Interpretive Services for the Peoria Park District. For him, wetland restoration is not just a process of science and ecology, it's a spiritual connection with the earth. His goal is to build an environmental army with a visceral bond to the cycles of the seasons and the rhythm of the earth. Jim Kleinwachter is manager of the home program at the Conservation Foundation in Naperville. He thinks of his job as building bridges between scientists, conservationists, and homeowners. Both men understand that once people see the beauty of wetlands, their thinking changes and they become advocates for public policies that embrace wetlands. Just as each wetland is different, so are the people working on them. Their stories, woven together, show wetlands foster wisdom, are kind and generous, mitigate flooding, clean up toxins, and support diversity. There is a lot to learn from wetlands. We are grateful to each person featured here who gave generously of their time to explain their passion and share the knowledge they gained over years of work. They are pioneers and yeomen of the wetlands.